Welcome to Here to Initiate, a podcast for manifestors, leaning on the concept of human design. We manifestors are 9% of the population, here to initiate, and it is time for us to rise. In this podcast, I, your host, Julia, want to bring a missing link to the marketplace. Having been a mentor and coach since 2018 and learning more and more about being a manifestor myself, I now, with this podcast, want to specifically support manifestors. With my brand Luxury Goddess, which is all about female remembrance, embodiment, and empowerment, I have served thousands of women already, and I now want to specifically support manifestors as well. I invite you to fully step into your peaceful, powerful self as a manifestor. Let's become who we came here to be, shall we? Welcome to a new episode. In the next 3 episodes, this one including, I'm going to go through the 3 authorities that manifestors can have. So one of the next 3, including this episode, are relevant to you personally. That being said, we're going to dive in a moment, but I also want to inform you about feeling that I want to concentrate on my new podcast that's going to come out. And so I'm wondering if there's any part in this podcast that you're still wishing for or yearning to know about my experience or knowledge. If so, please let me know in the comments on YouTube or send me a DM on Instagram at Julia Spiritual Living so I can see how we can round up this podcast and or continue it. I'm going to go with, like the way the urge hits me and the way I feel clarity. But I do feel a little bit of, is this going to continue to serve you? So let me know how this serves you. And then not only how or if it serves you, but really what are you wishing for? Like really specifically, what are the topics that you would like me to talk about in this podcast so that I know as well if this is something that's continuing to serve. So that's me informing you about how I feel right now. I'm not clear yet, so I'm definitely open to get your feedback. So let me know so that we can see in January how it's going and how I want to do it. Because as you know, as a manifestor, it's important to look at your energy and the things you want to do with the projects. And as I have my German firm and building on the English one, starting a new podcast that's going to come out every week. Yeah, let's see, right? Let's see where it takes us so that everything is really honest and 100%. So give me your feedback. All right, so let's dive deep into the first authority we want to look at, which is the emotional authority. So we have emotional manifestors. If you are an emotional manifestor, then this episode is for you. If you are not, just be looking out for next week's episode or the episode after that. We're going to do 3 in a row each Sunday so that each of you manifestors have your authority spoken about and just very a few ideas how to go about it. So if you're emotional authority, let's dive deep. If not, be looking forward to next week's or the week after's episode. Okay, so hello, emotional manifestors. With a defined emotion center, you have the emotional authority. So you can see it in your chart. If you're a manifestor, which you are, who you are, obviously, as you're here, and your emotional center is not defined, then you have one of the other authorities. If it is defined, you're automatically on an emotional authority. By the way, I don't know if you can hear it, but I have the river outside of the house and also a little bit of construction. So if you hear just that, it's that. If it's too intense, I'm going to pause and wait until it's less, but it feels like it's okay. So we're going with it. Okay, so what that means, having an emotional authority, is that you have permanent waves of emotions that flow through you. You have constant waves of emotions flowing through your body and you feel emotional many times, every day you feel emotional. You feel the high, you feel the low, you feel, oh my gosh, that's so intense. You feel, oh my gosh, it's all amazing. You feel like, oh no, I don't know, I can do this. Or you feel like, oh, I'm on top of the world. Like, you're probably going to feel the highs and the lows. Now, it's going to be different for each of you. Like, there's a few emotional authorities that have the spikes. There's a few that have like lower changes, or like, if like it's not as intense, the change of the emotion. So you're just gonna feel like, like I lean towards yes, I lean towards no, but I don't really know. I'm not feeling neutral clarity, which is what we're looking for as emotional authorities, which I am as well, right? So either way, you're gonna feel the emotions and the waves, and it's not gonna be super clear. And it's said that emotional authorities have no clarity in the now. We don't have the clarity in the now. And that's what we really have to befriend. We have to befriend and make peace, which is because it's so important to us, the peace. So we have to make peace with the fact that we don't have the clarity in the now. If we are surrounded by sacred authorities that are all like, yes, no, I know it in the moment, we have to be in peace with us feeling different and not most of the time knowing in the moment. Now, with little things, it might not be too important. Like, do we go for ice cream now? Do we go for pasta, whatever, right? So that might not be the problem, but the problem might be in, okay, so do you want to sign the contract to buy this huge thing? Or do you want, like, are you in this relationship or not? Like, if it's big consequences that the decision has, you have to have respect for your authority and honor that and say, I want to give you my best answer that I can really keep my word. And so I'm going to let you know tomorrow because I honor how important this decision is. So I'm not going to make it quickly because I know myself. Okay. So you're going to be honest about that. Also, I read a little bit in the Ra'uru, like in the founders, the human design founders, or one of the important teachers of human design. I read in his PDF about manifestors, and he said that the emotional manifestors are really like play the most important role here on earth right now, because we go so cyclical and so in tune with nature and the universe and all that's ever changing, so that we really bring all the waves into neutral, into clarity, and then inform, and then go about that and bring the visions and bring the new waves to this earth. And so he's saying that, everyone else has their clarity in the now, which is amazing. But for us to go through these waves and bring the clarity then feels like such a big deal. And that's my interpretation. It feels like such a big deal in moving through what comes through and what we feel, what moves through us, that we're the ones to really bring the visions and the ideas and the new waves and ways to go about this earth. So just feel into that. Okay, so you have, as an emotional authority, a broad spectrum of emotions, and your highs and lows can be differently long in time, but most of the time it takes about 24 hours. So we have this rule of thumb to wait a day and to sleep over it, right? So the bigger the thing is, from my experience, I can share, I need more than a day. If it's about buying land or buying a house or, investing 6 figures, or as a entrepreneur, or like big things that even when you slept over it at night and you're still not clear, you should not decide. You should not decide because the consequences are way too big, right? In the responsibility and in the having to go through with the thing, or in the investment that you made. So you want to take the time you need. So if it's important to me, like making a smaller investment, or like a medium investment, or just anything that's important to me, I take 1 to 3 days. If it's huge and like a life change, I take a week or 2. And if it's about what I want to eat today, of course, I'll decide it in this day because I'm going to eat. I'm going to have to eat. I'm going to decide in the moment because I have to eat. And I know how it feels to be clear, so I can take that clarity for the moment, even though, I could sleep over it. You should only make decisions when you're emotionally clear, when you're at a neutral, and you should find out how that feels, because then you can use it even though in the moments where you don't sleep over it, right? So you want to find out how that neutral feels in your body. It's not this, yes, I'm so excited, or no, my life's going down. It's like, yeah, I can feel it. Like, I'm clear. It's neutral. And I always feel, for me, it's like when you're a queen, which you are, who you are, right? And you're a leader, and like you really have this important role to lead. You're not going to make these decisions of like, war, we're going to war, because that's literally the wounded manifestor anger that would only go to war. We don't want to do that. And we also don't do, yes, I'm sharing everything with everyone. And the next day, oh no, I did not think about this and that. So you want to have the clarity that a queen, a leader would have of like, okay, so neutral, we're doing this, like this is best for everyone. Let me really feel into the clarity of what's best. It's not in the high and it's not in the low, it's in the neutral and the clarity and the grounded, and the very, very grounded answer of, yes, this is how we're doing it. It's not because I feel like I'm not willing to do this, or the world's going down, and this no of like the low. And it's also not this validation thing. Of course I'll do it. I'll save you, right? So we have to be careful about that as well. So we're really in the neutral of it feels true. Not because high, low. Not because I get validation then, not because I'll be loved then, not because I'm going to show them, right? None of that. Just clear. It feels true in my body. True, neutral, true. As if I was a leader and a queen, and this is important decision I make for everyone. And this is how it feels in my body, honestly. And I do feel that is important as for manifestors, especially with an emotional authority. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now, right? So that you should keep in mind. That's important. Okay. Let's dive even deeper. So if you're emotionally very high or low and you can feel it, do not make a decision. And I literally at this point, like when I'm with friends and I'm asked like, oh, can you pick me up tomorrow in the very morning? Like, could you make that exception and get up early and pick me up and like do this thing for me and run this errand? I can feel in that moment how I want to say yes, because I can feel the person, I can do it, like no problem. But then I always remember, wait, I'm in a high right now because I'm like socializing, I'm enjoying myself. I want to help. I don't see a problem, but I know exactly that when I'm going home and I feel into the same question again, and I have to get up very early in the next morning, that doesn't feel good to me. It feels like I'm doing that because I think I have to, but I really want to have my morning and then take my time in the morning. And it's not like this exception thing where like this one time I'm asked to help, like it would be a question of like, could you do that every week for me or something, right? And so I already know myself, like I cannot say yes in the moment, because that would be only because I would have that clarity in the moment, but I do not have the clarity in a moment as an emotional manifestor. So I don't say yes. I say, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you later, right? And I need, especially what helps me if I have to make the decision in a day before I could sleep over it, right? Because in this example, I would have to get back to the person in the afternoon or night to let her know if I can like drive her in the morning. So I would, what it really helps me, and that would be an invitation for you as well, of course, is to then, be with myself and go home and feel myself in the question or in the decision making, and feel like what is true. And then I can feel, no, I don't want to do it. I really need that. Like, the important thing, if you don't have a night to sleep over, is taking yourself out of the emotion. Now, what takes you out of the emotion? For me, it's always socializing, being in the energy of that kind of surrounding, these kind of people in those moments, or the music, or like the gathering, the happening. So let me take myself out of the situation and the energies that make me feel high or low, so that then I can just feel myself in a neutral space, just me on the bathroom if, I can't go home, or just me at home. And then I can feel neutral, because then I'm not in the high or low. I might go a little bit into the low, but then even then I lift myself up and feel into, okay, what's true? I ask myself, what's true? What's right? Not high, not low, not amazing or horrible. Like, what's true, what's right? And then I can feel it already. So maybe that helps you as well. All right. So yeah, I think that's it, what I want to tell you. And as emotional manifestors, the most important thing too is then to look into, so you have these urges, you have these hits, and then you move with them. You go through the highs and lows, and then you sleep over it. And then you look into, okay, do I need more days? And then you're clear. And then you inform. You inform peacefully. You look into, am I in my alignment? Am I feeling peaceful? And how do I inform? And give all the context that's needed. And really everything that needs to be said. Not too cold. Really with all the context I can give. So that's the important part. Especially as emotional manifestors, let's not inform before we're clear. Really clear. And not hope to be clear, but actually are clear. To then peacefully inform. Right? So that's the important piece in this, for us especially. So I hope that served you very, very much. I'm going to share exactly this information as well in the Luxury Goddess Meets Human Design course, and I'll go even deeper there and share even more insights of, how I go about this. So I might add 15 minutes there even, so that you have even more to fill into. And yes, I hope this served you very much. Let me know what episodes would help you so that we can wrap this podcast up beautifully. If I will close with it, and if not, even then how we can continue and how this really serves. So thank you already, and I'll catch you next time. This was today's episode for you as a manifestor in the concept of human design. I hope this episode and whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on iTunes or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listened. And or subscribe, comment, or share. Whatever feels right to you. So we can spread this for all manifestors to hear and rise as one. Thank you from one manifestor to another. I deeply appreciate you rising, and I look forward to catch you next time. Always remember, you are here to feel peaceful. You are here to initiate. Remember to always inform peacefully. You are so powerful. I see you. You've got this. From one manifestor to another, yours, Julia.